Brennan Armstrong's been around a while. He's lived a life, as they say. And his history cannot be forgotten going into this season for NC State. It was unusual seeing him at ACC kickoff. And by the way, the drive with Tim Donnelly was live at the ACC kickoffs the past 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And a cool part about that was we were there. I mean, we got there before 9 in the morning, stayed till after the show. So we were there all day, which a large part of it was planning a show, getting interviews, right, watching press conferences. But a lot of it was also just being in the room and seeing how things, who reacted in what way to what player and what coach. And it was, it's always good to be in the room, right? I talk about that's why I like watching games live rather than on TV. I love to see the body language of the offense on the sideline when the defense is on the field, and you rarely get that unless there's something dramatic happening on the sideline. I love watching the players and who's talking to who during timeouts and those sorts of things. So we got some of that at ACC kickoff, and seeing Brennan Armstrong walk around ACC kickoff with Peyton Wilson and Aiden White and Dave Doran, right, and the Wolfpack contingent, right, their media people kind of shuffling him around and getting the footage they need with a Wolfpack pin on his lapel, right, like the little things. It was a reminder of what his story really is about this year, right? It's a redemption story. It's a comeback story. And the reason why I say that is it feels like the optimism around State going into this season is treating him as a really, really good, really, really proven quarterback from another school that hit the portal looking for a chance to go compete, right? Because Virginia's in a bit of a rebuild, new coach, all those sorts of things. So the guy with 1 year of eligibility left hit the portal, and State plucked him out, and they're going to benefit from, right, all of the development and work and effort that he put in 5 years in Virginia, and now he's a State quarterback. But it's more of a redemption story because his last year at Virginia was not a super successful one. Last year, Armstrong threw 7 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. That is not exceptional. Here's Brennan Armstrong at kickoff, at ACC kickoff, at the ACC kickoff, to say it grammatically correct, on how hard it was for him to deal with everything being new and everything being different at Virginia when the coaches changed.
Yeah, very difficult. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't hard, right? We had a great season in 21, and we had to change. So I felt like I was the middleman of trying to get everyone on board, from the offensive guys to buy into this new thing. But it's like, why are we doing this new thing, right? Because of everything works so well. Right. And so I was the middleman of just trying to get guys on board, and it was a tough one, right? Everyone saw the product. It was tough. And then everything else around it. As a quarterback, you take the pressure. I mean, I'm fully willing to take responsibility of how we played, and it was just a tough outing. Yeah. Every game, you tried to reset each week. We got another week. Let's just turn the page. Same thing. Turn the page. Same thing. It's like we can't get this thing going. It's just like not working. And frustrating. It becomes too repetitive. I've covered I covered the Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes, and there were years where they weren't very good. And you'd go and you talk to their best player, and he goes, what did I tell you 2 days ago? Yeah. It's the exact same thing right now. It just feels like it's on repeat, and you're just like – and it's not like you don't even try anything new. It's not like you're not switching things up, and it's just like same thing. It's just like this is where it gets frustrating. Yeah.
All of that in a conversation with our friend Adam Gold, whose show you hear leading into our show every single day. The number one question around Brennan Armstrong for NC State this year is what happened last year, right? And sure, being new and being in a new offense that alone can't explain going from 30 plus touchdowns and 7 interceptions to 7 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. What the heck happened last year? And the answer to that comes with more information, right? Like, is it fixable? Was the step down permanent? That's the number one question going into this year for State.
And so he's probably asking that same question for himself too. Like,
what did happen? The thing is, it should be discerned by now. It should be sorted out by now, right? I talked about this with Drake May when we were breaking down some of the ACC kickoff stuff for Carolina yesterday. To a lesser extent, you could say that last year's Carolina schedule followed a very similar path to Brennan Armstrong's 3-4 year career as a contributor at UVA. Going great, getting better. Everyone's getting excited. The last quarter, whoa, right? That North Carolina last year, really good early on, getting better, 9-1. Whoa. Brennan Armstrong at UVA, doing very well. Chosen to be ACC kickoff representative for UVA, has a great season. Chosen to be the ACC kickoff representative for UVA again. Whoa. Right? That last year was the whoa. And Drake May, he had specific answers. What went wrong at the end of last year? Now, one of our YouTube commenters out there, and by the way, follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We read the comments and we'll be interacting with you there. One of our YouTube commenters said that it was Phil Longo had checked out, already was talking about his next job and made the offense stale and repeatable. And Phil Longo, their offensive coordinator at Carolina, did eventually that offseason take another job, and he's no longer with the program. So maybe that'd be funny. Like that's one of those like. That's why computers can't predict this game, because humans are the ones playing it and making the decisions. But Drake May's answer was, hey, they're dropping 8 on me a lot. It's pretty much either drop 8 or blitz the house, and I wasn't quite prepared for those adjustments. And obviously he was implying he's ready for it now. I need a specific answer from Brennan Armstrong, right? I can't say, well, last year was whoa, right? And now I'm going into this year and I'm going to try the same things. It's like, that's not smart. And obviously Robert and I will help because he had success with them and he didn't have them last year. But that can't be the whole thing. Or you can't tell me Tony Elliott, who was running the Clemson offense, couldn't come to Virginia and put together an offense that would get you more than 7 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. And even more interesting, right? Looking at just kind of the difference, right? Because that's what was jarring for me for Brennan Armstrong, right? Last year, ACC kickoff, he's there for Virginia. This year, ACC kickoff, he's there for NC State. Think about who was there for NC State last year.
Devin Leary. Devin
Leary was walking around as the preseason ACC Player of the Year. Not quite yet. The voting was taking place, but he was about to be named. So NC State's optimism, it's like, okay, well, what happened with Devin Leary last year? Right? And I'm not saying he had a bad season by any stretch. Obviously, injuries played a huge part in what happened with Devin Leary. But there's a lot of questions beyond just, oh, look at this. They plucked a senior ready to, just microwave, add water, and he's good to go starter out of the portal. And seeing him there, I don't know what it was about it, seeing him there kind of jogged those memories of like, oh, yeah, this is the same guy that was at Virginia last year. Sometimes the portal feels like, a new paint job, right? It's like a fresh start, and it's like, okay, but I still hope you solved the things that were there as an issue last year. And maybe Robert and I is the magic touch, right? Maybe Brennan Armstrong's going to be ACC Player of the Year, and then somebody's going to have to hire Robert and I and then draft Brennan Armstrong. Like maybe they're just, Batman and Robin, and they're better together. Who knows?